coming out. This is the first one that we've been able to have because of COVID, and I appreciate everybody coming out. We have Sheriff Chris Caber here. We have Donnie Boyd, our commissioner representative for this cycle, and he's here somewhere.
I'm way back here.
Way back there. Sorry we can't furnish any drinks or food or anything like that. Our illustrious governor's keeping a hold on that reign. So bring your own water, bring your own drinks as long as it's not alcohol. And so this is like a meet and greet meeting. If you want to stand up and introduce yourself, if you're new to the community, feel free to do so. I've been asked for some people that don't know everybody to have that happen. So, Chris, you can have the floor and introduce your new deputy if you want. So,
I recognize almost everybody, so I've been here lots of times, so I'm the sheriff of Klamath County. I do see some new faces, but brought with me today Deputy McAdams. He's in the back.
Welcome.
Yep. I don't know if you have questions for him later, but those of you that knew or know Mark Borges was a deputy for us. He still is. He's just been reassigned. So Taylor McAdams is taking over our forest contracts, which is be the Forest Service, BLM, all of those contracts where we contract for those federal agencies to patrol and work with them. So he's our new guy. So he's been with us for a while, but he's got to learn all of those issues that deal with working with those partners. So he'll be all over this county for a while.
You don't want to run him off too soon.
I didn't hear what you said.
I said you don't want to run him off too soon.
No, I'm not running him off. I'm not going anywhere. So anyway, I just want to make sure you saw his face. If you see Taylor running around, that's his primary job. But like all of our contracts, most of you know, we contract out with the school district and the forest and the marine and all that. But they're all deputies, and if we need them for anything else, we grab them off those contracts and use them. So that's a win-win for us. They pay us for most of their salary, but when we need them, we got them. So that's how that works. So that's that. Other than that, I didn't come with a big agenda. I will say this is the third meeting I've been to in the last 2 weeks where I've got to say the Pledge of Allegiance. And so, that's important to me, and I hope it's important to you guys too. The commissioners always start their meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance. I always appreciate that. I met with a group of about 125 people last week, a group that's gathered up for other purposes, and they did it, and now I've done it here. I said there was 2 that I did it, but I forgot about it here because I haven't been out here so long. So, the more the better. I'm willing to just dive right into questions if it's my turn, unless Commissioner Boyd wants to have a spot first.
Absolutely. I don't have anything to say either. I'd just like to say thanks for always inviting me. I always feel welcome when I come out here. It's I recognize most people's faces. I was not your liaison commissioner last year, so I wasn't here last year. But I kind of negotiated to get Spring River back. So that's why I'm out here now. So I will be out here when you guys have your meetings with this next year.
Right on.
So let's just do questions, and so I get to talk too much anyway.
Are we going to have a lot of problems with marijuana growing farms? We had somebody come and want to rent our property to put up marijuana huts. And we went into the sheriff's department and found out, no, we don't want to do that. So now they're looking at the property next to us. And so what kind of problems are we going to be looking at?
So my biggest, 2 things. I've had this for a while. The sheriff has nothing to say about legal marijuana grows, or hemp grows, or any of those other things. But when they're illegal, then we've got an issue with that. But typically, we got so far behind on that with a bunch of prosecutions we did. Anyway, I brought this up because my sticker says grow legal or get out. That's kind of my opinion, because That's just how I feel about it. If it's legal, it's legal. I got no problem with that. That's the way it is. If it's illegal, then you may end up getting visited, you know? And so the problem that you have if you rent to your property, people that grow marijuana, is when their crop is harvested and they drive away and leave their mess, then you're stuck with it. And that's what happens all over. Now, it happens some here, we hear about it here, but our neighbors in Jackson County, Josephine County, that is a huge issue for them over there. Because people rent the property, it's easy money, they'll do all this, but then they leave. And when they leave. Usually a big mess.
Well, we decided not to do it, but I was just wondering, because now they're looking at the property next door to us. It's kind of scary.
So tell your neighbor that you may end up with a mess right after everything's cut and hauled away. There you go.
There's somebody way out in the States that's already having a problem with the grow, and their trash is blowing over on this gal's property, and all she can do is go back and pick it up and figure out how to get rid of it. So get yourself a dumpster maybe for the stuff that's gonna be coming, and get it put in a dumpster. So
Hopefully that answers your question.
Thank
If it's illegal, we've been pretty successful letting them work on their grows all year long, and then right when they're about ready to make a profit, then we'll come in and if it's illegal. If it's legal and done legal, I got nothing to say about it.
Steve first here. Go ahead, Steve. What's your budget look like for this coming season?
Well, I proposed a budget to the commissioners and to the budget committee. That's
Time for me to leave.
You sit down, Donnie Boyd. You ain't going nowhere yet. My question about the water grow or the marijuana growing is,
Just a second there, Chris, let me ask you this question, because I think it's important. Our budget for our office, being that we're the biggest department in the county, we suck up tremendous amounts of money because our business is expensive to run the jail, to run patrols, and to run all these things. Makes it really hard on the commissioners to figure out each year how that's going to work out. This year's no different. It might even be a little worse in some ways and not so bad in others, but bottom line is I've presented a budget to them that's not balanced because I've asked for more money than they think they should have. That's after trimming just about everything that I possibly could, but we had salary increases across the whole county. Contracts were signed, monies went up, things cost more. So it's really kind of a zero growth budget for me, and yet it still goes up a ton. So we don't know. Next month we'll hammer it out some more.
So to answer, this is just adding a little bit to what Sheriff Kaber's saying. The three of us have always put the Sheriff's Department first. We negotiate with the budget with the Sheriff's Department before we do the rest of the departments. Being 100% honest, and this probably is not a very politically correct thing, we are going to have to get into road funds to keep the Sheriff's Department where we need it to be. And so you're going to hear that the counties are borrowing. We don't borrow money out of the road funds. We take money out of the road funds that's legal to use for patrol, and we will have to do that this year. There's no question. I don't think any one of us that's a commissioner would want to cut the Sheriff's Department back to the position that we would have to if we did not get into road funds. So Sheriff Kaber is being very, very polite today. The fact of the matter is we don't want to lose a single deputy or anyone else within that Sheriff's Department, because the fact is keeping the citizens safe in Klamath County should be and is my #1 goal.
and that's why the roads in Klamath Forest Estates need to be maintained for emergency response vehicles
But
to
the
respond
problem is,
quicker and save the ones that have retired here.
the roads in Klamath Forest Estates are not publicly maintained roads.
Well, the forestry has cinder that we can haul in. Can you facilitate that? We've got labor that'll get out there with rakes and make it.
Why don't we talk offline?
Okay. And then the water for all these grows is getting purchased through the store. Now, Thurman and Stogie Wilson don't want that to happen. They want the water to be sold to these growers to Sprague River water.
So if that is a water master issue, I have absolutely no control over that, neither does Sheriff Caber.
I know, but
That's
that's
the
so
order.
you all are hearing it. It's gonna have to happen because that water, that money isn't going into your infrastructure.
So what I need to do then is invite the water master out here for the next meeting you guys have, and you guys can, she can tell you the plan and how that's gonna work.
Wonderful.
She is aware of that.
Thank you.
I have a question. If you're taking money from the roads, don't take any from the Sprague River roads, because the sheriff doesn't show up when we need him out here. I mean, I'm sorry, that's a proven fact. And Sheriff Caber right there told us at the last meeting that we needed to get our concealed carry insurance and take care of the problems ourselves out here. I'm sorry, that's wrong, and the county needs to be sued if that's the way he's gonna be, because that's not fair to all of us that live out here.
Well, what do you want? You want the county to come out and take care of his problems?
Let's, hey, I was mentioned in that comment, so I get a chance maybe to respond. What I said was, I'm pretty sure what I said was, that you do have a responsibility to protect yourself as well, because it takes us a long time to get here. What I did tell you was, because I keep getting asked, hey, can I shoot someone if they come on my property? Can I shoot someone here? Can I do this? And my answer for a long time has been this. If you think you're going to do that, get your insurance because you're going to need it. Make sure you bone up on the laws related to the Castle Doctrine and the stand your ground laws in the state of Oregon. And then call us, and we will get there as fast as we can. That's always been my answer.
Can you tell me why nobody responded the other night?
No.
To me?
No, because I don't know the particulars of it. I mean, I can look on my call sheet. Our deputies responded to 180 calls for service in the last month in this area. So to say we never show up.
And I called to try to get an officer out there. The next morning, my neighbor and I went driving around. There was car parts in the middle of the road. These people were shooting each other, talking to each other going down the road.
Oh, my new neighbors. Yeah. Yeah, we got new tweakers in the neighborhood too.
So you say about
Everybody
excessive
wants that.
911 calls. What about excessive calls and filing false reports that we have from multiple people?
We're not. The problem of false calling is still happening. The abuse of the 911 call is still happening.
You have excessive calls
And you guys don't, and the sheriff's department isn't citing the individuals that are abusing the system, making frivolous calls.
Is that the reason why we don't have shot fighters, 180 calls, and then the second someone gets shot, then cops show up? Because we got a lot of problems out here, and there's a lot more serious problems with someone's dog getting out, someone saying, you're on my property, you're at your gate. There's a lot more worse problems than that. But it comes to a point where because of these false calls.
I don't know what false calls you're talking about.
Do you want me to name names, sir?
Come on, Jim Welder's a false caller. I'll call him out on that.
Yeah.
We all know that. He's turned in lots of people here.
Hey!
You be quiet, Danny.
We're not running this meeting like this.
You be quiet,
One at
Danny
a
Dunn.
time.
You be quiet, Danny Dunn.
Yes, I am. One
Is
at
this
a
your
time.
meeting or
You
a
be quiet,
community
Danny
meeting?
Dunn. We're done with the Dunns.
This is a community meeting, guys. This is
You're
not
done
this
with
is
the
not-
meeting, there's the door. We'll let you out.
I guess you better roll out.
Bye.
Go.
We're done with the Dunns. Who else is done with the Dunns? You want change in this community?
We're done.
It ain't
with
gonna
the
be
people
me.
who are just letting this shit slide.
You guys need leadership that's going to stand up for what's being. You guys are being taxed without representation. They're taking millions of dollars from your road fund and giving it to the sheriff's department. You're right. They don't respond. And if somebody gets injured and hurt out in Clemens Forest Estates, what happens?
Some of us like the bumpy road. It's out of
It
here.
keeps the idiots out, but it keeps the people who live here stuck.
On the placard. I split
We
windows
take
as a
the
kid.
stuff from that as well.
As long as it's peaceful, I don't care what you guys say. If it
It ain't
gets
gonna
out of
be
hand, then we'll
peaceful.
shut it down.
If we're peaceful.
I don't want to do that.
Thank you.
I came out here, and I keep coming out here, to try and answer questions.
Where's the code enforcer? We were told on the placard.
Hey, you are being, Chris, you're kind of being out of line, which is.
He's right. I don't have time for this. I took time
Then
out.
go, Chris. There's the door.
You go, Don,
I didn't
for real.
invite you.
It said code enforcer. Guys, I'm gonna leave,
It's a community meeting,
but folks, it's peaceful.
Oh, it's a community meeting, so why isn't that the community? Doesn't ban?
No, I'm gonna stand by the door so I can make my exit, but I'm just saying you guys are being taxed without representation. The problems you face are real. The emergency response time vehicles can't get out there. Out there, the forest has all this red cinder that's free. We can't get it to the roads.
Well, the commissioner said he talked to you about that, so I believe he will be there.
But yeah, your concerns are real. The Duns aren't gonna do anything to help it.
Our 9 years
Vince
have been over.
Malachi, you guys know Vince
We ain't
Malachi?
done-
Hey, my understanding of this, and it's on all the forms, and everything started as a sheriff's advisory meeting. So I'm here, I will try and advise you of everything I can, 100% truthfully. If you don't like what I have to say, we can discuss that as well. The Duns just facilitate, as far as I know, the Duns just facilitate this meeting. So there we are, we're all here because they put out some sort of notice. So we're all here. So why don't we take advantage of it? If you want to have a community argument, then I don't need to be here for that. So,
Well, you're only here
the argument.
when we have meetings, but we need somebody based out here.
No, we like you. Well, I mentioned to some of the people on what I would say would be the committee, that I was tired of coming out here and we end up in these arguments all the time. That's not what I'm here for. I handle arguments all the time. I look forward to coming out here because I can answer honest questions honestly and try and come to some sort of understanding. When I come out here and we argue, then it seems counterproductive.
There's arguments because no one actually addresses the problem.
I have a question.
No, you wait.
You're like a senior member, you're here every time. I would like to hear your question.
Well, they can't see your hand. A lot of you people don't know me in here, but I've been here over 45 years in this valley. And what I like to do is open up nominations for the chairman of the board here, to elections, and that's what I like to see done. So if chairman of the board has said many times, anybody who wants this job can have it. So I think John's doing a good job for the last 9 years. I was here when he got elected. I think the way things are going nowadays, we need to have more citizens' involvement in community affairs, because out here we're being ticketed by the code enforcement, and people don't know, the people that just moved in here don't know how to handle it. And what I'd like to do is be able to make a recommendation who I think would do a good job.
Feel free, I've tried to give it up.
Before we go forward with that, which sheriff started this anyway?
Sheriff Straw.
And we can owe thanks to him then, because there is something in writing called the Sheriff Citizen Advisory Committee Rules and Regulations. This has been ignored ever since I got here. I don't know what you had before, but this has been ignored. Because if this is a community, this is what I told you guys before, if this is a community meeting, I'm glad to come out. But if you're gonna call it the Sheriff's Committee meeting, then I think there needs to be a little bit of order to it. This is what it says. A group shall be formed to be known as the Sheriff's Citizens Advisory Committee. It shall consist of 11 members, membership as follows. Members to be appointed by the Klamath County Sheriff. It's not really, it's my advisory meeting, it's my, I guess it was Scraw's attempt to have community members advise him about what's going on and they can share information. Not a community meeting, but an advisory committee. One appointed member of this committee will be elected chairman. The chairman will serve for 1 year. The Klamath County Sheriff or his designee will be the ex officio member of the committee. The duties of the committee are then laid forth. I am willing to do this. I'm not willing to come out here and witness a community argument.
That's null and void. That's so years ago, that's not even your
It's not
contract.
null and void if I say this is what's gonna happen, if it's called the sheriff's committee.
We don't want, do you want to agree with this?
Yes.
Okay, then have the sheriff stay here.
Put a sheriff
Put a
station.
sheriff on here.
Put a sheriff station.
If I could finish?
Put it right on Dunn's property.
Yes, I remember when Sheriff Franks was here, they formed that
He was
that
good
rule
for
and
us.
regulation about on the committee. I believe I'm on that committee because I wrote in, and he has a deal of my resume of all my background experience. But he got in a little trouble at the time, so I don't know if he fulfilled everything in that procedure there. But anyway, what I'd like to do is nominate a person that I feel has gone to the county commissioners and many times to the county agencies and helped people here in the community to be able to get through all the rules and regulations pertaining to putting a house, a septic, and whatever else. So what I'd like to do is it open for my nomination?
That's up to the sheriff, this is his.
No,
Well,
not according to these rules. I get what you're saying. I appreciate the fact that
Proceed.
you're trying to bring some order back.
I contest his authority on that outdated contract. It's never been enforced. Why enforce it
It's
now?
not a contract.
Quiet.
It's the sheriff's advisory committee. As far as I know, Chris, I'm the sheriff, you're not. There's no sheriff out here, there's only one sheriff, it's me. And I would love to have an advisory committee, but I'm not gonna keep coming out here for these community arguments.
So one thing that
You gonna come out here and take our money from the roads?
Your arguments, Chris, you're a very intelligent man, I know, we've talked many times, but your arguments sometimes are just way out there. I
Yeah,
don't take
it's
your
more
money.
about me. It's more
County
about all
taxes.
these people paying taxes. They get crappy roads.
The meeting's not all about you.
Well, it's obviously not about it.
Well, my road's good.
So, sir, I don't think that's the way to do it. I think maybe what I'll do is I'll disband the group and start over, and I'll accept it for the sheriff's advisory committee. If you guys want to have a Sprague River community meeting, then you could do that totally separate, and I'll come out and visit you when I'm there. So maybe, Chris, that's what you need to do, is see if you can form a community meeting.
No, this is his. This is a neighborhood watch monthly meeting. That's what this is advertised.
Okay, well, good, then I'm not in charge, so.
Well, Sheriff, Sheriff, I like, is the way things are going nowadays, I know you guys are under a lot of pressure. You know, because of all the changes on the gun control and this and that. And I know everybody in Sprague River would love to help you in any way we can. And if you want to continue, the way I understood,
Oh, okay.
this
I
is the
thought
way I
so.
understood now, that the sheriff didn't want to have this committee out here as a sheriff's advisory committee, just as a Sprague River community. Now, if the chairman would answer the question, is that true or not?
I did change it, I dropped the sheriff's off because he got tired of coming out here. So I took the sheriff's advisory name and I call it the Neighborhood Watch for Sprague River. That's what this meeting is about, so that you can talk to each other about the problems that are going on out here and problems that need to be addressed.
But they're never addressed.
So,
And your own commissioner just said you're not getting your money, but for the roads.
That's not what I said at all. That's not what I said.
Says you're taking the road budget fund and giving
That
it.
is not true.
You're gonna take whatever you can from it.
There's $80 million in the road funds that we don't use $80 million every year.
Oh no, I'm a Republican. I'm just a ornery Republican.
This is
I
this is
second
what
the
I see on
nomination, I
TV.
second the motion. To hold the,
Hey, if this is a neighborhood watch group, I'm gonna stand aside when you guys decide who's in charge.
but he
But
just
please
said.
do it peacefully.
well, it's been, what I brought up has been seconded. My nomination is Courtney Hudson. You want to stand up?
I'm ready to take over. You want to leave?
I'm not leaving. No,
Well, I'm
this
taking
meeting-
over.
This is my meeting, I called.
Oh,
it.
your
I'm sorry,
meeting. This is our meeting, not
Neighborhood
yours.
watch.
It's the watch.
You know,
Do y'all live next door to Dunn?
If you're gonna have a community meeting, you need a sergeant in arms, because shouting at each other
We can't get anybody to
There's
step
a
up and do
motion on
anything.
Right here, he's stepping up, and I'm stepping out. I'm just
Bye.
see y'all. Thank you for allowing me to entertain you. Thank you very much.
There's a motion on the floor.
This is not the meeting to do the motions, I'm sorry. You guys all, another meeting, if you want us to step aside and you guys to
But you're
run.
not going to step aside.
Yes.
We want you to allow a
It's
vote
supposed to happen
on
in
a
July.
nomination.
Nominations happen in July.
We'll do it next meeting. We'll do it the next meeting, so you're out.
Whatever. Sure.
We're gonna clean up.
Okay.
Excuse me. Tired of you going
Excuse
around.
me. Hello?
It's too exciting to leave. Yeah, I worked with all these people when I was a kid.
Okay, guys, I'm hearing all these things, and so I just want to kind of start with asking, everybody says that there's all these problems out here, and I was wondering if we could start just kind of naming them one by one so that sheriff would know what we're talking about. So what is a problem? One problem. What's one problem up here?
Thieving.
Me.
Do you say thieving?
Yes.
So we have some thieves out here.
A lot.
So if we have thieves out here, how do we deal with that? How do we keep track of the people that are driving by slow and kind of scoping things out? What do you suggest we do? I mean, if we're a neighborhood and we're watching out for one another.
That's
we know
what we
there's
need. We
thievery.
need more community people to
Right,
join.
so if we are having
So
this-
that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to pull the whole community together, just like all these people on the wall. When I came here in the 70s, we all helped each other. We did everything for each other. I'm
And so-
still doing things for people.
And we are too, and we are loving it. We love being out here. We love being part of this community. It's a wonderful place. We are having these troubles, and if we're the community and we're all supposed to be helping one another, what do? Do we watch and we see, because we do, we see people driving by
We don't
slow
get no
and
help out
scoping.
here, ma'am. And under the law,
What if we can identify who these people are that are thieving, and we, we're
Under
trying to
the
keep
law.
track of that. Because they can't come out here, it takes them 45 minutes to get out here. So
under the law, it takes, under the law 363-255, I can arrest anybody in this room. I've done it twice, and I'll do it
That's
again.
not gonna help me. I'm
If
more.
you call us, we'll come help you.
I want to call you.
What are you gonna do? Call the sheriff and wait a couple hours?
You dial 911, you get a call the next day.
They don't see, they're not here every day seeing what we're seeing.
Excuse me, you have questions?
Yeah, I do. Long time ago, back when you were talking and he's talking, I lived out here and, we chose to live out in the middle of nowhere. We don't live in the city. We don't live in the city. And my experience was go down these barns, go down it's crazy. I tried to catch this son of a bitch, and I thought I had to get a butt naked, run outside, start my car, and chase him down. Listen in the sticks to ID him. Okay, I had to ID his car, had to know who his face was, and I called the sheriff. We went out there the next day, he was arrested. He moved.
But it took you getting naked to do it.
So what? No, it didn't look like that at all. Don't come down here and act like it's serious and just stir chaos. You're either in a solution or you're just another idiot out here going, fix my problems. I moved out here.
What is your question?
My question is, you're asking what we need to do.
You need to have courage like this woman. She did something to ID the person. If you can't live out here with courage, you all have courage. You live here.
Well, I'm a little bit lost as to what really is happening. Is this a neighborhood watch meeting? Is this a sheriff's meeting? People are raising their hands, they're trying to politely ask questions. I don't even
Sounds
know
like
this
a
is supposed to be.
crybaby asked me to let me out.
I hear you.
So I don't even know if I'm supposed to be. If I'm just a visitor here.
You done with this shit show?
What needs to honest to God happen is Caber needs to form his 11-member team. You should be on that.
I don't want to be on anything.
Well,
I'm too volatile.
and then you have a community action team that Courtney or you or I don't give a rip who runs the son of a bitch.
It ain't gonna be me.
But that's what needs to happen. There needs to be 2 groups.
We can have a server farm right here, county owned, and tie in there and just generate revenue right here, right out of here. Sprague River.
Have a what?
A server farm. Selling rack mount space to Facebook, Google, all Verizon, everybody, the banks. And we have the fiber optic right there, CenturyLink. We have the infrastructure. And we have the field big enough for the solar. And that could give us the money that we need for this dead community.
But where is the revenue going to come from to build the infrastructure?
Your Climate Economic Development Board or
Shit,
whatever.
they don't have hardly any money.
You got the wrong people running that. You guys, there's so much money out there that you got to need better
No.
grant writers.
Well, that could, I'm not arguing with that at all.
Because the money's out there.
But
you need a front guy like me to go up and make an appointment with Bezos admins and say, we need $50 million.
But my point is today, the county literally has like $300,000 in economic development money every year. It's not spit.
But it's not enough.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not spit. And so, like you say, you got to have the right grant writers. And I agree with you. The guys that run Casita, which
I spoke with them already.
Doesn't have anything to do with the county. The county.
Look at the mess they got you guys in with that fucking...
Wilson art?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of that's a commissioner. That wasn't just them.
Well, yeah.
Anyway,
it'll be fixed. You'll drop it for 10 years or whatever, and
well, we got it fixed. It's fixed. It's just not very satisfactory, but it's fixed. The reality is,
as long as they're happy, not
no.
under the pretenses. I don't know. I wasn't at the meetings.
They got red tagged today. They got shut down.
What?
Today?
Well, they can't take liberties, and they have to follow building code, and they need permits and all that.
They were born under Wesco Road without a permit. And
see, that's taking liberties.
I told them, I said, you go down and shut that fucking thing down, and Commissioner DeGroote's madder than fuck.
Because that's his baby,
That's his
and
baby.
they're taking advantage.
And I said, and they know better than that. But they got red tagged. Everybody got sent home.
Jesus.
I mean, I didn't want to be a dick, but the reality is
Well, I don't want
they're
to,
no
but I'm a
different than
naturally
you.
good dick out here.
They're no different than you. You go buy a permit, right?
Well,
To fix stuff. Yeah, you do. You go
Well.
buy a permit to fix stuff, and they can't go in